Hey guys, Sabrefox91o here, and welcome to the Amber Showdown of the DGL. Guys, today we have xTc Black versus DC Overwatch. And guys, let's not forget, I am joined by my co-caster, Ulturism. Ulturism, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well in yourself, hey Saber?
Always brilliant to see these two teams, so that actually puts me in a very good mood as well. So yes, what do you think is in store for us today with these two top teams?
I feel like every game I'm casting these days contains xTc. I'm just getting to see a lot of their play, and I must admit, it's certainly not a bad thing. I'm always happy to see it because they are such a wonderful team. Just both in their team structure and their drafting, but also just in their individual plays. We've seen Patches doing a devastating job on his Widowmaker. We've seen Wood's Roadhog that tore into the Eden side, in fact, a couple of days ago. Eden being one of the top teams in South Africa, and Wood did huge amounts of work with Roadhog. And then we saw him play last week, I think it was on Monday, in fact, and he went Lucio, so you never know what to expect from this xTc side. But on the other side, we're seeing Cyberman and Pac-Man and some big names in the community that are starting to build up their sort of reputation for damage control, and they're also one of those like top 4 in SA teams that just you because they are so really skilled in their individual plays and as a team. So both these teams, really exciting match coming up, and I'm so glad that we've gotten to see so much of them already that we know what we're going to expect, and we'll have to see if they stick to that sort of plan or if we get something new from them.
No, definitely. Just make sure. I see I actually lost you there for a few seconds. Just make sure your microphone is closer to your mouse. But yes, you are right. These are definitely two of the top 4 teams, as you can say. We actually haven't casted a DC game in some time. I actually miss casting them, and as you said, we have been in the last time just constantly casting xTc. It is not by choice, people. It's not like we want to constantly just cast xTc as well. We do not mind. But we enjoy whichever games we get to cast, and this was a very short notice change, as I'm pretty sure most of you know. But yeah, I'm quite interested to see what maps they will bring out here, and what kind of composition they bring out here. Like you said, with as we saw from xTc side, they're constantly changing the setups. I mean, we have tanks going on supports, and then Patches also constantly changing. Well, Patches, we know at this moment, he is a very good shot. So anything that has bullets, he will be there. But yes, and then also, I'm not mistaken, Such Fab is also one of their one of the assaults from DC, and I think followed up by Cyberman. Pac-Man is also then, and Lord, or Z-Lord ZA is the tanks, and then we have Dark and Grimp, which is the support from DC, if I can remember correctly. So yes, I know Pac-Man used to be an insane good shot, and Z-Lord is, not mistaken, is Reinhardt main. So we got a little brother thing going on there, because I'm also myself a Reinhardt main. He's just one of my favorite characters overall. So yeah,
you sure have an incredible memory to be able to pick out every one of the support players and everything like that. I must admit, I'm getting the hang of the xTc side. Wood is one of their tank players. Big Papa Dean plays incredible Anna. He's even got the little emotes, the profile picture dedicated to Anna. Patches plays, your projectile guys and your just main DPS soldier. I don't think we've seen a McCree from him. We might have for a couple of seconds, but certainly the Widowmaker that we're talking about, Toy Rocket, has played a really good Tracer. We've seen him play Tracer on King's Row, which is actually going to be the first map. So it's going to be King's Row, Lijiang Tower, and Hanamura. We've actually seen King's Row and Lijiang from this xTc side before. They do very, very well on it. We've seen them both on the Lijiang. We saw them take a 3-0 on Monday, I think it was. Can't remember who that was against. Do you recall?
Monday it was VL Baka Onichan.
That's the one, Oni-chan, that we got called out for. And they took that 3-0 on Lijiang, but they also lost to Eden 3-0. 3 rounds to 0 on Lijiang. So it's certainly one of those like love-hate relationships that they've got with the map. King's Row, they do have such an amazing pushing presence. They have the ability to literally come out of spawn, first run at the first point, and take it in the first push. So their aggressive style really suits this map.
Oh no, definitely. You know, xTc is, as we have known, when it comes to one of it against the top teams, their attack is insanely strong, but when it comes to defending, they're just not quite there. But then actually what we've noticed from all the top teams is when it comes to attacking, they are amazing, but when it comes to defending, I don't think they worked on the defense that much. But hopefully, you know, these are the kind of things that people tend to work on, because I mean, there's always room for improvement, and one of the places you can improve always is your defense. But then again, if a team is insanely good on attacking, defending against that is just one of those impossible tasks. You can just try to stop them as long as possible, but eventually they are going to get through. But as you said, speaking of the McCree, looks like we have Toy Rocket who is going fully on the McCree here. And then as we said, all the patches on the soldier there, thank God he is on that high ground. As we always talked about King Road, that high ground is very important.
He's going to need to be very careful though. He's got some lovely positioning. He's a very good positional player. But we see such fab on the Widowmaker, and if he gets popped, if he stands out in the open, he's not standing behind a shield or anything like that. And if his positioning goes out by even just a little bit, he might find himself getting taken out by the head. And Zedlord's there. It's a lovely little bit of combination here. We've got Cyberman on that Farah who can get 1 or 2 rockets in, and then Zedlord can jump in and just clean it up behind that Reinhardt shield. They obviously want to try and pick out some of the supports in the beginning. Now we just see a little bit of a poke battle as we get in the position. Cyberman going up, being pocketed by Pac-Man to give you that lovely pharmacy combination there. So far no damage at this stage to either side, and you see Nozzle just tucking around the back, needs to get out of the range of those rockets, and he's now very far ahead of his team, not really blocking anyone, and that shield is starting to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, you see here at the top here, Winston is actually causing so much damage, chasing patches off the high ground and gets taken down by such fab, which is Widowmaker. That is quite sad stuff, Lucia. It seems like we have a player that's dropping at the moment. DC is on the field, getting a point, but it seems that they got stopped there at the end by Nazul. Cyberman seems to be a bit of trouble there. He ran out of field and getting chased by Vid and gets shotguns in the face. It seems like we are, calling for a pause, and we have that pause.
Who can do the pausing, just out of interest? Because I couldn't pause on mine.
I don't even know how to pause, to be honest.
So we do have the pause now, at least at this stage. It was Pac-Man that dropped out, and Pac-Man was on the other support. Was on the Mercy, wasn't he?
So I'm just typing here.
I do think Pac-Man was on the Mercy, so that is certainly an incredibly important hero for the defenders to need it.
Yeah.
I think we might have to restart this game. I think it's just the lobby leader, they're saying, is the only one who can pause. So I don't know how they want to react to this. I'm not sure what are the DGL rules when it comes to Overwatch.
When it comes to pausing, you have to at least warn a team that you want to pause. So in a situation like this now, where Pac-Man, has dropped, they have to say, can you please call a timeout? And then whoever is the host of the custom game, like we have figured out now, he has to instantly pause it there, or at least, a 5-second pause, so they don't instantly just pause in the middle of the game. It gives everybody a time to, prepare for the pause. Like, like in the middle of a battle where Ryan starts swinging left and right, and then, you're getting paused. That's a kind of frustrating thing. So it kind of gives you a time to get used to see what you can to divert that. So the time there is basically to make sure you can get away from battle and prepare yourself when it starts in. But it seems like Pac-Man is back in again. He is busy joining the game, so we can be up and running again, and then Cyberman can have his little pocket Mercy for that extra damage boost and support. Because we all know that's a very good combination, very annoying from the opposing team. But anyway, we are back in 1 second.
So I'm guessing we're just going to see this DC side back out. Yeah, there they have. They've gone all the way back to their spawn. They've got that first third on the point, but now they should be able to. They didn't lose too much time from this. They did need to pretty much just group up anyway. We see a little bit of chip damage coming in from Dark on the Zarya, but no big problems that I can see coming out from that pause. It's not like it was the defenders being a man down or anything like that, and they just managed to take the first point. So Now we're back into the action. Nazul again letting that shield get a little bit down, just retreats back into the corner, and Dark starts pushing forward. You see Winston there, Zlord SA just hiding on the top ground, doesn't want to go in too early, letting Dark do the main bit of the tanking there, and just waiting to pounce on in case anyone gets low. Wood just gets around the corner and heals himself back up. So no one from xTc really dropping low, as we see Nazul charging very deep and getting the nano boost up now.
Yeah, you see xTc actually getting a nice little Earth Shatter, getting a double kill, but nice work by Nazul. xTc is playing very cautious and very defensively. They're actually being extremely patient, you know, not being on the point. They're waiting for at least one or two of them to get at that point. Then Wood comes in with his hook, gets the hook, pops a nice little headshot, and Toy Rocket with the McCree just get another little headshot just because he can. It's a nice little good combination they have going here, and it seems to be very patient. And it's actually quite amazing to see, you know, a refreshing change here.
Such a nice bit of positional play from this xTc side at this stage. We see, like, often when you have something like a Pharah against a Reinhardt shield, you have Pharah turns around and gets behind him and renders that shield pretty much useless, but he's done very, very well to pocket himself into that corner, just get away from the action, as we see the monkey going ham and just knocking everyone around. And he did go down at the end there, but he made so much space for the DC side that they do manage to take that payload and get it rolling now. So really nice bit of play there from such Zlord, my apologies, on that Winston, and he's now swapped out to the Reinhardt. His job is done, they got the point, and now they can get this payload moving.
Yes, that little point actually did save him a lot of time, and it actually helped him so much, because xTc was actually doing a very good defense there. So we can actually see that DC did see what they do and adapted to the situation. It seems we have now another Genji from Suchfab. He actually dropped the Roadhog, if I'm not mistaken.
Such a lovely charge there by Nazul. Goes and takes out Zlord's Reinhardt, and that leaves the space completely open for Patches on his soldier to just put that tac visor up and clean up people around him. There's no more shield. That means there's no place for these guys to hide, and they do an incredible job. I think picking up about four kills in that fight, but certainly enough to repel the attack, and now they've got full control of this payload, and they're just sitting pretty, waiting for these guys to re-engage from DC.
Yeah, you actually see a nice little, Suchfab did a nice deflect there on McCree's little high noon, actually giving him a taste of his own medicine, using his own ultimate against him. But it seems like we have over ultimates going of Transcendence, Earth Shatter, and also we Whole Hog, who just went off but actually got stopped by a sleep dart. Nazul there with the Nano boost there. It seems like we have everybody going off. Wood actually seems to have kept his Whole Hog because the sleep dart actually interrupted him just in time. Cyberman is just behind Wood there, seeing if he can cause so much damage there. Suchfab is the top there, being an annoyance there. It seems like Toy Rocket is back on the Tracer, and it seems like we have a nice little engagement and Nazul going off. Dragon Blade going off to the Satchel, Earth Shatter going down at the end there by Zlord, getting down 2 at least. It seems like this is the push that is helping DC at the moment, pushing xTc off completely. Using a heal, getting 2 of them up there. Nice revive there from Pac-Man. xTc is in a lot of trouble here. It seems like Lord and Suchfab is pushing them completely back into the spawn area.
I must admit, I thought that was going xTc's way when they got that Graviton against them and they managed to get the Transcendence out. Amnesia did really, really well. Good bit of play there from him to just counter all the damage against that, but then they got turned around on and they really got wiped pretty nicely, and they just needed to group up at this stage and try and re-engage. But a nice bit of staggering of ultimates now from the side of DC has kept them on the back foot. We see Suchfab just diving into the back there. It goes down, unfortunately, to the Toy Rocket, getting that revenge for the pick-off that he got last time, but they are still very healthy. He managed to get Patches. Patches does have that tac visor up on him, but this running forward from the side of DC is not being stopped as Nazul now goes in deep, and Zlord actually stays very healthy thanks to Dark's little bubble protecting him, and a lovely bit of Earth Shatter now from Zlord. Picks off 3, and that is huge. He's now got 4 kills. That may in fact be the player of the game unless someone does a lot better. But that's all of them down very, very quickly. They should get very close to getting this point all the way on. And we may be looking at just one more team fight. If anything, we see Amnesia coming out with the Transcendence, just desperately trying to slow this down.
Oh, nice little hook there by Bird, making Drumter completely off. We see that the team's working well together. It's such getting the Dragon Blade, getting at least a double kill with support of Cyberman's tactical vision. Pac-Man getting a nice little revive there. It seems like xTc is in a lot of trouble. They just cannot get their feet. DC is just deploying ultimate after ultimate, and it got them that last little point there. But it's not over yet. DC managed to push that first payload onto the last point in 1 minute and 30 seconds. And now it's time for xTc to show what they got.
Yeah, such an amazing bit of sustain there from the side of DC. They got on that payload after that one team fight and just outside the bookstore, and they just kept that thing running. Great play by Pac-Man, just getting those tempo reses in time. He managed to, it was just, I think it was two little two-man reses, but that's all they needed. The rest of the team was healthy, they were up, and they knew that if they just kept that pace going, they were going to be able to push it the whole way through. Amnesia came out on the Zenyatta with his Transcendence, trying to stall out the payload, but I think if he had held that a little bit longer, he could have actually just waited for the team to come out, and they weren't going to push it on there, and instead, the Dark was just such a heads-up player, kept that Graviton Surge for long enough that as soon as Transcendence went down, he popped that Graviton Surge just on the right-hand side of that little area coming in, and picked up 4 of the xTc defenders. They were cleaned up with a really nice Dragon Blade there by Suchfab, if I'm not mistaken. He cleaned up 4 of them, and from there was just a 6-on-2 fight, and the rest of xTc was not able to hold that point.
Yeah, it's actually one of those moments at the end there where people actually start to panic and then deploy their ultimates like we saw there with Amnesia. It's not really a bad play, but like you said, he could have actually held on to that a bit longer. But it's, you know, it's these kind of things that shows you it kind of brings the man from the boys, if I can put it like that, you know, see who can hold their cool. But it's nothing to fear because xTc is definitely showing a very interesting pick they have here. Definitely we see Patches are back on the Widowmaker and Suchfab and the Widowmaker as well, so we're going to see some nice little sniper action on there. But we are off and let's see who gets the first kill. My money is on Suchfab with that little sniper having a defensive position.
Certainly, you see a lot of Widows just go for that high ground, trying to pick it off, but there he sits behind the Reinhardt shield, knowing that this is such a good map for Widow. Oh, Dark gets hooked in, but a nice bit of healing from Pac-Man and a good defensive shield from him. Keeps him alive, brings it back, and probably got him a nice bit of charge there as we see him starting to get very, very powerful. And now as Nazul pushes onto the point, gets the charge, but again, doesn't get any pick-off with it. So Dark just managing to stay alive and stay on massive amounts of charge means he can put out a lot of damage, but they need to get on the point now. They've already given up 2/3 of this, and they're just not being able to upset this xTc side and get them off, and they've already got their nano boost up and running. Wu is running into the front there, and a nice res from Pac-Man gets all the men back up, but they need to get someone on this point.
Yeah, those kind of revives are game-changing events, but actually happens pretty well. xTc did an extremely first push there, actually getting the point to the second third there, and managing to push xTc off there at the end though. But I actually, like I spoke earlier, I actually did lose my bet. It seems like Patches actually got that first sniper against Suchfab. But it's nothing yet. It seems like we have to Patches is still on their Widowmaker, waiting for that nice little peek there. Getting shots, but not getting anything at the moment. We see a slow push here from xTc, moving slowly forward. And it seems like we have DC just staying there, holding their ground, waiting patiently. It seems like, oh, Suchfab actually got Patches there with a nice little sniping kill.
So we finally get the Suchfab kill there. Great Earthshatter comes down now, and the nano boost and the Graviton. Jeez, they're throwing all their ultimates at it. They need to hold this point, and there they get the 3 kills out of the ultimates. Out of the Graviton, Nazul manages to pick up Zlord SA on the other Reinhardt, just battling it out in the corner. They do let 2 men go down, but they've done enough, I think, to push it. They could be in a little bit of trouble now from this counter play now, because they do have the respawn disadvantage at this stage, and it's going to have to be a little bit of defensive play. They don't have a lot of overtime and objective time to play with though, because they have given up that first 2/3. So it's now up to xTc. They just need one good push to take this point.
I know, definitely at the moment you see here DC is actually holding it pretty well. We're waiting for the right time now for xTc to come out. It seems like Patch has got the first pick there. It means it's a 6v5. This is the time for xTc now to make a move. They are pushing him off completely. Dark is the only one on the point, getting pushed off. Earthshots are going down, getting at least 4 of them down. Whole Hog also going down. That is definitely the plays you want to see from xTc, putting them completely off. And that is it, getting so to say, a team kill. Suchfab basically far at the back there, as you can see, he's hiding and waiting for the scope, waiting for his little kills. But it seems like we have Patches here going to the far left side, seeing where he can get people coming out of spawn. And Suchfab's also basically doing the same from their side. So these Widowmakers are definitely on the top of their games, waiting for those little moment kills where they can actually make a difference or slow down the enemy team. Patches seems to actually be struggling to get his little kills at the moment, but the payload is getting a very nice push here by xTc, making a lot of ground as DC took their time to get back on point.
Yeah, I must admit I was watching Pac-Man there. He had the res in the previous fights, and now we see the beautiful Earth Shatter. Yes, these Reinhardts have both been on form with those today. No one whiffing an Earth Shatter yet that I've seen, and now Dark is just chasing down, trying to get as many kills as he can, build up that ultimate charge even more. He's on 65%, and we've seen him use that to great effect. Darky's got an amazing positional ability with this Zarya, just peeks out enough, gets them to dedicate to trying to kill him, pops that shield just in time and gets a lot of charge. He's getting a lot of value off this Zarya, and we see him now up to 80% already on that.
Yeah, actually see, Patch is actually trying to get the high ground, but Suchfab actually expected it. I'm guessing he actually had his ultimate on, and then as soon as Patches actually showed us, Suchfab said, "Not today, sir, you are headless." But yeah, Suchfab is definitely on form. There's Widowmaker, and as you see, the Reinhardts are definitely on point. But again, the team is nothing without their support. Sadly, we have a Nana who's actually hit a Lucia. That is something you do not want to see happen. Nana is also going there on Zilord, but he gets second out at the end. We see only Vur and Nazu lost alive. They're hiding in the corner. They're in a bit of trouble. Vur getting hooked there. Sadly, both of them get taken down at the end, but that is going to cost them some time. They should have used that opportunity to move a bit off, because now the rest of the team is going to have to wait for those two tanks to get back, because you cannot move forward with those two tanks.
Ah, the curse of the Boostio. It's happened to every Ana player. It's happened to everyone who's ever tried to play Ana, I'm pretty sure. We just see, like you were saying though, Suchfab is doing an incredible job on this Widowmaker, but I guess that's why he has the golden gun on the Widow, is this is someone he plays a lot, and he knows what he's doing, he knows where too far is and how to get those. So it's a lovely thing to see this sort of contest. We see Patches now actually swapping out of the Widowmaker, going to that McCree, obviously just trying to push in. There we see a Sleep Dart coming down, shutting down Suchfab, putting him on the floor, and Wood just comes forward with that. And we see now the combination again. Another Earth Shatter goes in there, flattens them down, and we see both of these soldiers picking up a lot of kills from each side though.
Oh, no, definitely. You see Cyberman is quickly doing a lot of damage here, staying on a payload and seeing if he can get down to like a Graviton Surge going down a bit dark, and only even Nazul's there, but gets taken down. It seems like we have little Amnesia who is hiding there, got actually sucked into the Graviton Surge, but from the other side of the wall, so he was actually hidden away there. At the moment, we see still Suchfab is causing so much damage and it's being a nuisance at the moment, that Widowmaker. They actually are not doing anything to, you know, to block him off. They're not taking a Winston, so xTc is not working as it should.
My servants never die.
Again, the lovely tempo res comes out from Pac-Man, just keeps his people alive. We saw Griff go down there, getting a little bit too far forward as the Ana just gives away his life, but the res brings it back up, and that's so critical in this sort of lineup. You need to have that burst healing. As talking about burst healing, we now see the Transcendence coming out, and with this overtime, you see that they are desperately trying to get back on the point as xTc. The anti-healing's on Narzul, but the damage reduction from the nano boost was enough to keep him alive. He's got that big shield up now, and they've got it. And my goodness, Doc's got another one of these Gravitons. I have never seen a Zarya have this many Gravitons this quickly. He is playing out of his mind, but they do manage to survive through it. xTc gets it. Narzul's now ripping apart this backline. He just needs to make sure that they do constantly have someone on the payload. He's doing very well, gets back on time. And they do, in fact, keep the payload rolling, even though we have been in overtime for probably 30 seconds or more.
Yeah, this is actually quite an intense. We have never seen overtime actually last this long in any one of the games we cast. xTc is doing an amazing job here at the end here, but it seems like Cyberman is here on the far left side, cut off from the rest of his team, battling out with Tracer. uses his attack laser. He's going to cause a lot of damage here. Toy Rocket taking me down at the end, and xTc is still pushing that payload forward. His Lord is actually on the payload, making sure Vader can't do anything. Earth Shatter going out, getting these two of them down there, but gets taken down at the end there by Patches. A lot of damage from the rest of the team. Dark is trying to do a last effort to making sure that payload does not reach that checkpoint. He is just bouncing around it, supported there by Grim there, and let's see if we have a nano boost going down. And I'm pretty sure Dark just gets taken down at the end there, but it seems, Suchfab also trying to do a last attempt and making sure that do not get into overtime or pass overtime. Giving xTc at least a minute and 20 seconds to work with for this last little push here. Can they make it?
Now, Smith, that's not where you want your Widowmaker to be, is standing in the middle surrounded by enemies. I think there was a little bit of misplay there by the side of DC. They had the attack visor and they had the Earth Shadow together, and instead of trying to get together as a team, they both just decided to try and make something happen, stop the payload getting to that final point, and you saw their Cyberman firing off that attack visor alone on his team, and he didn't manage to pick up anyone, and then the Earth Shatter came through. Zlord was alone, and the xTc side managed to capitalize on that, pushed through to the point, and now they're actually in a dominated position. But as I say that, 4 of them go down. That is not what you need when you're getting this close. They've only got 40 seconds left on this payload, and now DC has managed to get together, get that team unity, and is now guarding this payload with a lot of resources behind them. They've still got that Pac-Man resin. We've seen him be very good on his positioning, not throwing it away when he has that in his pocket, and doing great tempo reses to just turn that disadvantage into that numbers game.
Yeah, I see actually already Satra taking down Narzul there. That's already taking down xTc 2 players, also by Saruman taking down Anna, so xTc is a disadvantage here. And I'm pretty sure this is sadly the last play for xTc on this map. That revive from Pac-Man also made sure of that. DC actually had an amazing defense there, and it shows to completely outplay xTc on the attacking side. So that is astounding work there from DC, and unlucky from the xTc side. But it's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen, because we are moving over to map number 2.
Dark, I think, was on fire for probably about, 60-70% of that game. Really good play by him. That's my man of the match. This is probably this Earth Shadow that we saw just as they were pushing in that first round. Yes, it is. It's on this corner. Gets stuck with the pommel right next to him, but he takes 1 swing, gets 2 swing, knows that the Reinhardt shield is down, gets the 4-man Earth Shadow, keeps swinging away. That's 4. There's your 5th. 5 kills out of a single play. What a good play by him, but in my opinion, Dark with an incredible amount of ultimates just from a Zarya who's known for having those really slow charging ultimates, and gets it out, and Cyberman always in the right position to capitalize on those plays. So really nice for the teamwork from DC, and they managed to take the first map.
Yeah, I have to admit, from being a Reinhardt main myself, seeing Earth Shatters like that, getting at least 4 people down, and then also the hammer swinging left to right, and then the finishing it off, it's one of the most happy feelings you ever get in your life in Overwatch, unless you're a Widow main and just constantly getting every single headshot. But other than that, it's insane. These Reinhardts are constantly on point with the Earth Shatters. Sadly, I actually noticed one Earth Shatter, if I'm not mistaken, it was from... No, wasn't it? It was actually... It was from Nazu, sorry. He actually had an Earth Shatter going down, but you know, at the moment, there's still some problems with Ryan, I would have noticed. His Earth Shatter doesn't always actually hit the target, but that's actually not something, you know, Blizzard can always fix. Like, the Earth Shatter is there, you can see it should have hit at least 2 or 3 people, but it doesn't even hit them. So it's, you know, it's sad moments like that. It actually cost them, in my opinion, that little defense moment they had there. But yes,
always sad to see that.
Yeah,
always sad to see an ultimate, and you're like, yes, I got them, and the guys just, you know, keep bouncing around and end up destroying you. Like, oh, I worked really hard for that ultimate.
Yeah, it's moments like that you just want to bash your keyboard in.
No rage. We do not condone rage on this channel, guys.
Yes, please.
Just GG, well played. Yeah, no easies or anything like that. If you guys are just joining us, I am Ulturism, joining Sabrefox91o on his channel. This is the semi-finals of the Amber Showdown. This is xTc Gaming playing against Damage Control. We just saw DC eke out a victory on King's Row against xTc, so they've got this 1-0 in the bag. We're now heading to Lijiang Tower, though.
Yes, and before I forget, I'm gonna take off the overlay before we have any problems like we did have in the previous stream. So yes, we are prepared this time. Anyway, Legion Tower, one of my favorite maps. It is a control point, and we are seeing a lot of control points on this leg, which is very nice. Usually in the previous legs we only saw payloads, so yeah, payload maps or hybrids, if I can be like that. But now we have these nice ones. Something actually I've noticed, we haven't really seen a Pharah on this section of Legion Tower. I mean, usually you have the Pharaohs that actually just, you know, use the force. I'm not sure. I keep forgetting what that's.
Blast.
Yeah, that. And then you know, they shoot them completely off you at the start on the bridge, which is such an annoyance, but it works extremely well. But with a new strategy, we actually did see from the side. I think it was xTc who used it last time, or was it Omnichan? One of the two teams actually used the Orisa. With her ultimate fire, you can actually shoot a round orb, and then when you activate the orb or it actually hits an object, it absorbs any enemy in the location or in the area and sucks it in. So they're actually using that to push people off as well. But anyways, speak as the devil, here we have Cyberman on a Pharah.
It's interesting to see their composition. They've got Cyberman on the Pharah, and they've got Suchfab again picking up their Widowmaker. Obviously, he rates himself very well on these long sight lines, and it does work nicely with the Winston that Zlord is playing now, because he just creates the space. Cyberman can then fire from above. Suchfab can sit at the back and just get a lot of damage in from a distance, and it works really, really nicely when no one can really focus on one of the targets. And Zlord is doing very, very well to put pressure on that Tracer, and Suchfab gets the headshot to take out the Toy Rocket. Toy Rocket is known for his Tracer, but he's just done not enough at this stage, and they've just been pushed back into their side of the map. And now we see Nozzle actually jumping very far in, but he's indeed too far. There's no one there to back him up, and we now see this xTc side just being really trapped in their side of the map.
Yeah, xTc seems to be struggling and just not getting the field. They're getting taken down one by one. Dark, oh my god, would you just calm down there, sir? With the Roadhog, he just pulled down two people. He is completely, you know, I'm pretty sure that's an annoyance. When xTc is just not getting their feet at the moment. They're just not getting there. They had a bad start, and they just haven't been able to pick it up again. You know, this is, I don't know what's happening at the moment from xTc's side, but they're gonna have to pick it up if they want to compete on this side now.
A nice little bit of a change there. Nozzle just registering that the Winston's not working very well. They're trying to get back together as a team. The split defense is killing them in a split fight. So they've now got Nozzle on the right part just so that everyone can get behind him. But yeah, Cyberman though just gets in the perfect position above the Reinhardt's head, rains down his fire, and Patches now showing his Widowmaker is just as lethal. Now they're getting some picks, but they're left on the point now with the Raging Monkey, and Raging Monkey actually pushes there. I think it was someone into the pit, in fact, getting a nice environmental kill now, and the DC side is regrouped in time, and they're now holding this point. Wasn't fast enough from the side of xTc to get them off and start getting their own percentages racking up.
Yeah, you see, Dog was actually the last one alive on that point, holding it off completely, being such a nuisance. Patches was trying to do damage, but he was also worrying too much about the people on the outside, you know. And then actually, in my opinion, should have focused more on the point first, clearing them off, and then focus on the people coming from the outside. You know, I think he was trying to get the easy kills, but not focusing on helping his team. So I don't know. xTc has to, in my opinion, has to, you know, sit down. I mean, maybe call for a timeout and just, you know, talk about what just happened and how we can fix that. I mean, yes, it's a different area now, but they have to do something, because whatever they're doing at the moment now is not working for them. Or DC is just overwhelmingly good on this map.
I think it comes down to target prioritization. They're not targeting a single person as a team. There we see Nozzle charging his Reinhardt, while Patches is sitting in the back with the Widowmaker trying to take the Pharah out the sky. And it's impossible if you don't target a team when they've got such a split up team. They had the beginning of that fight. They took out Zlord's Winston because he was too far forward trying to cover the choke. They had the man advantage, and instead they just rush and split up and don't have a clear game plan. So I really think they need to get that sort of cohesion together, get that target and go, right, let's take out the Pharah, or the get onto the back lines, get onto such Fab's Widow and take her out because she's doing too much damage and being uncontested. So they really need to just have some sort of game plan in mind. And at this stage, it doesn't seem to be working. There, though, we see Woor getting a hook on Dark, managing to take him out, and they've still got all their men up. So this should be their ability now to take this map.
And I couldn't see if I start my bit myself, but it seems like xTc did, in fact, actually did a nice little push there, got the combination together, focused on the targets they needed. The supports were constantly healing, and they got it. It was insane work there, and xTc managed to get the first push there, and they are back in this game, ready to show DC with what they are made of. It seems like DC is pushing in the far middle side here, making a straight push. We have Lucio getting the speed boost, going crazy, and it seems like we have a little fight in the start here. Void again with the hooks, getting a nice little hook there on Z-Lord. We have a tractor bomb, actually not getting anybody at the moment there. I'm not sure if anybody was injured. Nazu getting a nice little nano boost going off, and Nazu getting an earth shatter down, getting down Dark. It's pushed off there by Lucio. Pac-Man's being a nuisance there at the moment. That's Lucio making sure Nazu does not have any damage to done whatsoever, and gets put to sleep as well. Patches gets hooked and then shot in the face by Dark. The amazing work there by these little Roadhogs today.
Really nice bit of play there, but we did see xTc splitting up a little bit. Nozzle went to the left-hand side towards the spawn of DC, and he got some lovely pins by him. He was cleaning up a lot, but the rest of his team was on the stairs, just being cleaned up at the back there, and they now turn over their point. Tory Rocket's doing a lot of work, just getting to the side, getting out on this sliver of health. Really nice bit of conscientious tracer play by him, but he's getting a lot of ultimates now as Nazul's pushing into the point, and Nazul does go down, but he's done a lot of work, and now they're splitting up again. We see Cyberman taking out Big Papa Dean in the middle of nowhere, to be honest, and Z-Lord now gets blown up, getting thrown across the map, and xTc manages to reclaim this point, and Nazul's back so he can get that shield up, and they can just keep building on their percentages.
Yeah, it seems like we're taking a nice little nap there, just laying on a job. But they are on point at the moment. Nazu is providing a very nice shield there to protect his team. Dark actually hooked Wood, but nothing came of that. That's another nice little glitch here by Blizzard. Thank you so much. Zilord getting taken down by Patches. Hohawk getting put on there by Dark, killing two people, Nazu and Wood. That's two tanks down for xTc at the moment. Amnesia's the last one alive. They're keeping the point. He's going all out on... Oh, sorry. Before I said he actually went all out on Dark, but gets taken up by Such Fab from McCree. And Patches on a return kill there on Such Fab. It seems like xTc is grouping up again, waiting for a nice little waiting for a nice little time to push up again. Because at the moment, it seems like this section is working well for them. They are going on a high ground, so this should be quite interesting to see what they are going to do.
So it's nice to see that little bit of interaction between Patches and Such Fab. Obviously a lot of respect between these two players. They've been having this little footsie game the whole match. Who can be the better sniper, who can be the better DPS, and there we see Patches coming out on top on that side, and now we see Patches getting the nano boost, staying on that high ground, raining down death from above, and with the Transcendence they can jump onto the point, push everyone back, and DC only had two choices, run or die at that stage, and half the team manages to get out there. Cyberman, Pac-Man, and Griff, my apologies, just managing to get to cover, but the rest of the team gets picked off, and now this xTc side's just pushing forward very, very well, trying to just shut down anyone getting to the point, and a nice bit of play there. Really good call from their shot caller to get to that high ground, get there with the ultimates, and jump down, and really take a very nice team fight to bring this series back to one apiece.
Definitely, we see xTc made a very nice attempt and actually turned this game completely over. So xTc is very much still in play with this game. So it's quite amazing to see what these teams do. Like we always say, adapting is the way to go, and xTc adapted and then enhanced. So now we are basically only 2 more rounds left to play, I would say, on this map. And then hopefully xTc take it and we can see a 3rd map to play. But guys, don't forget, after this game we have another game that's going to be played. We will post the link for that at the end of this game. It is xTc versus NoobX, so please make sure to join us. But anyway, Ulturism, take it away from the start.
We see this xTc side just coming in the front door. Oh, a lovely hook. That's 2 picks now already for the side of DC, managing to get a nice bit of advantage in the beginning. Now it's a case of cleaning up. Wood is in the middle, and he's a good Roadhog, but he's not immortal, and DC managed to take that first fight. They ran around the back there, managed to get onto the position and just get lovely little bit of such fab sniping going on there, and a good hook from Dark meant that they had the man advantage from the beginning. I saw Patches take out, I think it was such fab, just to try and even up the score, but it was too little too late as the rest of the team was out of position, and now it's going to be xTc again. Can they get that unified fight? They certainly seem to be playing a lot better when they've got this Reinhardt shield. It gives them just this unified front, this unified line to stand behind and push into a point as a team more than their split up approach.
Yeah, I'm watching Sushfab and Patches just poking at each other at the moment. They're both extremely skilled snipers, but they're just not hitting their hits at the moment. They're trying so hard to do the grab hook shots, and it's just not working. At the moment, they're just hitting it off each other. But anyway, let's get on to the other battle, which is on point. Nuzzle getting onto the point, hitting that shield. The rest of the team is trying to support Patches, actually finally get Sushfab. So that's the advantage for xTc now, making this not a pushless push. It seems like, oh, the two Reinhardts crashing head on head. Earth shots are going down, only getting Nazul, which is Reinhardt. Taken down at the end. We see the Nano Boost going down on Reinhardt, and who else? We have another Lucio with a Nano Boost. This Lucio is on fire at the moment. Rocket Barrage went off, but actually gets denied by Toy Rocket there. It seems like Lord is the last one alive but Lucio, so this should be quite interesting to see. And Patches actually saves the day. Nice work, Patches, taking down Lord, saving Amnesia, which is Lucio's life there. It seems like Dark is at the end here, waiting to see if he can get a hook. Misses that hook. He's waiting for a little point so he can take a hook and just turn to the right and then throw him off. Vir on fire as always with his Roadhog getting down Anna, which is not always an easy kill to get.
Must admit, I thought DC had lost that fight when they got the... I thought DC had won that fight when they got the Reinhardt nano boosted and he was in the front line swinging, and xTc got the boostio. But a really nice bit of play from xTc. Actually managed to hold that map. They just had enough. Oh, we see Wood going for a lovely bit of a flight there. Cyberman just booping him off the edge with that concussive blast. And now they've got the man advantage, and Wool was doing a huge amount of work there. Patch is a little bit low on life, but he is a Widowmaker. He can retreat very easily, and Earth Shadow goes down. He gets slapped at the back, so there's no follow up, and a nice bit of sound barrier from the side from Amnesia's Lucio for xTc. Keeps the rest of his team alive. They've got it, and Dark comes in with the whole hog, but it doesn't do anything. He was alone on the point there, and now we're actually seeing DC start hemorrhaging death. They really just need to back up, regroup, and they've got the percentages to play with, but they don't when they start giving away pointless little trickle deaths like this. They really need to just come back together as a team.
Yeah, actually, so Puppeteer was insanely well there. Actually, putting Dark to sleep when he went all hog, making sure his team does not get damaged and everything like that. Nanopus going off on Nazulva and whole hog by Bird there. We see like a nice little defensive Earth shots are going down there and only getting Dark. Dark then taken down. Toy Rocket at the end taking down Dark. Gimp taking down Bird. It seems like the spoilers are trading at the moment, but xTc is just holding him in their spawn, which is very wow. It seems like Pac-Man tried to make a run for the game, see if they can get them point to stop the little point. We have someone else who's on point, and of course it's Cyberman, which is a Farah, who made the overtime clock. That is an annoyance when you see that kind of thing happen.
A good bit of delaying tactics there by Cyberman to keep this overtime ticking, but I think it might be a little bit too late, as we see guys getting on the point and keeping this overtime alive. But when it's 1 or 2 at a time, I don't care how much you jump around as Lucio, I don't know how many times you blink as Tracer, you're not staying alive when there's still 4 or 5 of the other team on the point, and it's just you're buying yourself a couple of seconds. They just gave it away there with a couple too many trickle deaths. Just couldn't get up as a team and do one more solid push, and xTc, after being 1-0 down, gets back 2-1 up in this thing, and they back to this control center map where they did so well in the second round.
Definitely the comebacks are back in play, and it seems like xTc only has to win this last round and then they take this map, and it means we are going to a third map for the first time. But it's not over yet. DC is still very much in play at this moment. They just have to win this one round and then another one, and then they take the map and then this game. Guys, this is the Amber Showdown. Welcome to the DGL. We have xTc Black versus DC Overwatch, and I'm joined with Ulturism, and we are live.
I love how you say they just have to win this and then another one. Just
and
do that,
another
you know,
one.
guys, no problems. But we see a lovely anti-heal grenade goes down on Zlord, but he manages to get that shield back up. And Patches sitting in his deathly position up there at the top, but doesn't get too much out of it. And he's firing down, but the kills are not coming. And Zlord's still alive, had the anti-heal grenade on him, but Patches may be alone on this point now, and he just has to back up as the whole DC side stayed alive. Really good props there. Griff, I see having a lot of ultimate percentage there, obviously doing a stellar job in the background just to keep that healing up, as we see now. Such Fab is hunting for anyone on the high ground. He takes it up as Roadhog, but no one's coming up that way, so he's going to just drop down, I'm sure, in this next team fight.
Yeah, it seems like xTc, I think, was a bit cocky then at first, thinking they can take it, but they are going back with a full throttle assault there. Already have the advantage of 1 kill. So that just got countered by Subfab taking down third. Earthshatter going down, getting down Griff and Pac-Man and Subman. That's a 3 kill, but sadly only one of them gets taken down. Toy Rocket killing himself somehow, so I have no idea how that happened. Nazu was trying so hard to kill 3 people there on his own, but sadly gets taken on in Amnesia, and Pac-Man is, and Patches is last alive there, running to regroup the rest of the xTc team. And it seems like we have DC that is pushing them back all the way into their spawn. So now Expected Fast, they are suiting up again and getting ready for the next assaults.
We see Toy Rocket swapping to the Reaper. He's been doing very well on that, and he obviously recognized that Dark and Such Fab are such nice squishy targets for his pellets to go through, and as long as he gets his positioning right and doesn't get hooked, he could do a lot of damage in this. There is a very one-dimensional map when they get down onto this position here, and we see a lot of work coming from Cyberman, but it's the battle of the tag fires as Cyberman comes out in front, in fact, takes out Patches and there's 2 teammates around him, and almost a team wipe on the side of DC. They've got a lot of percentage building up at this stage, and it looks like Toy Rocket's Reaper wasn't the change that they needed to get this map in the bag.
No, I see Big Papa Dean actually prematurely nano boosted Soldier, which actually didn't help them much because they were expecting people there and nothing came from it. So that was actually a complete waste of an ultimate there. See Earthshatter going there by Zlord, getting down at least 2 of them. xTc is getting wiped off at this moment. This is still anybody's game. Only 99% there for DC side, but xTc sadly did not get any percentage there. So it seems like it comes down to this last round to see who takes this map. If xTc takes it, we move on to a third map. If DC, then obviously the game's over, and then DC takes the win for the Amber Showdown.
Man, I always love it when games go to like a tight ending like this. Here we're seeing just to see if we get a game 3, it's already a high tense situation. Both teams playing exceptionally well now. No ults really going to waste at any stage at this point. Both of these teams did very, very well on this particular map that we saw. DC took the first round on it, and xTc's got their work cut out for them, but they do have Patches on their Widowmaker. No, I lie, he's now just swapped to the Zarya, and they're hoping to get more of a triple tank meta going. Yeah, Big Papa Dean's got a lot of weight riding on his shoulders, because if he gets hooked by Such Fab, that could be the rest of the team falling very quickly behind.
Definitely, it seems like xTc actually very fast push, getting straight onto the point, and that leaves the choke point in her hands of DC at the moment. We have a little charge here by Lord. Nazo missing his charge, getting taken down by Pac-Man at the end. Hook's coming in from the side, which means xTc is basically have to pull off because they're split up way too much at the moment. Void is the last one alive there. Satcham's right behind him. Doesn't notice him. And sadly, Satcham getting a nice hook there on Patches, and it seems like xTc got completely wiped off there. Something is happening at the moment for them, and they are just not getting the kills that they need.
Certainly, they are getting they're doing the damage. You can see it. Zlord's got a lot, but it's Narzul's got a lot of damage. Big Papa D's got a lot of healing behind them, but they're just not getting the kills. They're not confirming the frags. And against something like a triple tank lineup where you've got the something like a Roadhog that can heal himself up, if you don't confirm those frags, it just ends up being ult charge for the other team. It ends up being guys still alive, recovering very quickly, and we now see Patches on this nano boosted Zarya getting in, cutting people to pieces. But again, there's no kills going down, and they're just not getting the numbers that they need. We see xTc finally starting to take an advantage, but a lovely Earth Shatter has now turned the tide completely. Patches is being chased down by Zedlord now. He escapes on just a sliver of life there. Such Fab going for the hook, but just meets the shield there of Nazul, and DC managed to keep hold of that point.
Yeah, xTc actually had the upper hand there from the start of the attack. They actually managed to take 3 down versus 6. But then those 3 on the point actually stalled so much, the rest of the team was able to catch up from the spawn. And that is just not something you want to see from the side of xTc, with a struggling take on 3 players. Nanobu's going down, V-Lord. Oh, the ultimates are just... Oh, that is the doom of xTc right there. That is not something you want to see. Grab it on Surge, then a Rhino with a Nano Boost. It just swings left and right, does so much damage. It is over for you. Toy Rocket is getting chased all the way back as well. He is running for his dear life. It seems like Nazul made a nice little charge there. Earth Shatter going down on my lord. Taking down Rhino and Verde. And Rhino gets taken down, which is... Oh gosh, is this... Sorry, Lord is on fire at this moment. It's just Rhino taking down everybody in his way. Grabbing on Surge going down at the end of him. Patches gets taken down. Verde is the last one alive there with very little health. It seems like we have overtime and the timer is going down. And that is it. DC taking the last round and taking the game. Guys, please join us for the next game. It is going to be xTc versus Noobs Inc. for the next game. It's going to be an amazing game. Autumn, do you have any thoughts on this game we just had now? It's amazing. This is wow.
Such a nice bit of play from both teams there. We saw DC just getting ahead on both of those fights, really close, but they managed to just keep their players alive. Really good bit of positioning from them. Great work by the supports there. We see Big Papa Dean, 12,000 healing from him, and Cyberman was left largely uncontested on his Pharah in that first round especially, and he did very well. But if xTc wants to take on Noobs Gaming, they need to be able to get that team prioritization. We saw when they got a unified theory, when they got that sort of focused attention on someone and a focused team plan, when they went around the back there on the control center, dropped down from the top, they knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they did it well. These guys have a lot of skill, and if they can reinforce that sort of thinking, they are going to do very, very well against Noob Gaming. But guys, we will see you in just a couple of minutes when we jump across to the other link. Make sure you click that link. Come join us there. I've been Ulturism, and
I am Sabrefox. And guys, just a disclaimer, this stream has been made possible by Gamer Gadgets and Steady South Africa. Check them out. Links for them are in the description. Links for my Facebook and YouTube channel and Twitter is in the description. Links for Ulturism Facebook and YouTube channel is in the description. Give us likes, follows, shares, all the nitty-gritty things which you know you want to do. Guys, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you so much.